Alright. Making sure the connection's good. Looks like it's still trying to establish connection. I sound like I have a voice that is, ah, man. Maybe it's because I woke up early or maybe my voice sounds deeper. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Seems like the connection's good. Let me just check one thing. Yeah, this looks good. Alright, so before we actually start this, okay, this material was by this guy. So in terms of the intro, and there was a lot of people with this intro, but I decided to go with this person's like their footage just because I wanted to show, hey, and you already know what the title is, so let's just get straight to it, right? Right.
Certainly, they existed. Those blinded by ambition. Those consumed with vengeance. But here, they do not exist. Only winners and losers here. For here, the mighty. Garo, Mark of the Wolves. Garo, Mark of the Wolves.
Consider that this came out in 1999, and it absolutely is legendary. It slaps, it's fire in terms of its intro from 1999. Everyone, including myself, once I got to play God Roll or Fatal Fury, if depending on your localization, Mark of the Wolves, everybody was losing their freaking mind. I played not like recently, but I have played just on my playlist, God Roll, Mark of the Wolves, and I'm enjoying every single moment of it. It's oozing with style, personality, and just the fight mechanics are pristine. And by pristine, what I mean is so freaking cool. Just to execute a move, it's just to execute a move in that game is absolutely satisfying. Along with that, the art style is crazy good. Yeah, it's absolutely legendary because they. It seems like SNK, and luckily they're back to the roots. And yeah, because at a time, and guys, my first SNK, from what I can remember back when I was a kid, was when I was playing like co-op with my brother, The Art of Fighting. That was my first SNK game, if you can believe that. Does anybody know what the game is? I bet for the people who played a lot of SNK games when you were an adult or a kid, or there's no judgment here. But yeah, I bet people remember like Art of Fighting. Dude! Yeah, everybody's probably going crazy on the Art of Fighting if you remember that. If not, then if you were a kid back in the 90s, or if you were basically an adult in the 90s, no judgment, I bet your first SNK game was Fatal Fury, the very first one, which is understandable. I know I played Fatal Fury 2 when I was me and my brother was a kid, but yeah, SNK. I think I fell off when we got to KOF Maximum Impact 2. If anybody remembers that SNK game back in the day, I thought that was a step above and much better version than KOF Maximum Impact 1. I played both, but I think that's where I fell off. And then I went back to SNK games. Yeah, I guess I could say King of Fighters 14, also 15. I think that's when I came back to SNK games. I'm glad they're back. I'm glad that they're bringing a sequel to this game for the first and foremost, because I just played Garo Mark of the Wolves, and it's absolutely one of their top games. And of course, I play SNK versus Capcom 2 because me and my brother have to settle debates by beating the crap out of each other. Not in real life, but it actually being the crap out of each other in, like, of course, that game. I know he played, like, Ryu, like, nonstop. I played Terry Bogard. I played Andy Bogard. So we just flip-flop between SNK characters and Capcom characters. And that was a blast back in the day. So when I heard about pretty much SNK versus, or the Fighting Collection, I think it's the Capcom Fighting Collection 2. So don't quote me on that. But I'm excited about it because, A, I get to relive my, wow, was that my teenage years or my, I guess, not really college years, but definitely preteen years. And it's freaking awesome. I'm glad that they're bringing back. I'm glad that, because at a time, I thought fighting games were kind of going, Tekken and Street Fighter was going strong, so it was Mortal Kombat. But the games like this, like SNKs or anime-based games or these type of games, that there was a lot of passion, creativity back in the 90s. I felt like there was a dip in quality, and they just didn't have the same caliber. Soul Calibur, yes, that was intentional. It just didn't have the caliber back in the 90s, when it was just like, man, it was crazy. We were lucky back in those days to get those type, and we all wanted it so much. Of course, we got Maximum Dude and other fighting game enthusiasts. And am I a fighting game enthusiast? Yeah, I can say that. I can absolutely say it. If I can get a solid fighting game, I'm gonna play it for like a freak. I'm gonna play a lot of it. I'm gonna play a lot, and no one can shame me on that because, man, fighting games are awesome. I'm glad that there's a resurgence because I felt like these type of games, they didn't get the resurgence until we got back to, I don't know. I really don't know, and I can't pinpoint when SNK games are back again. And I'm just like that they're kind of collaborating with Capcom games, but I guess I prattle on too much. Let's get straight to the material, right? Right. Okay, cool. Well, I just wanted to show my passion for it, but yeah, this dropped 8 hours ago. Or I guess it will change. Oh, 9 hours ago. But still, I was asleep. I was literally asleep and I woke up and... What is up with this year? That's awesome! In terms of video game news, I feel like we've been getting a good, substantial amount of video game news, of things we care about. Even though I don't think the State of Play 2025 for PlayStation was the greatest, and I still stand by it that it's a like 5 or 6, leaning more, the new IPs are awesome, but in terms of games that are releasing in 2025, man, we are stacked! We are stacked. Yeah, I almost forgot that Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, sequel to Mark of the Wolves, was coming out. Or Garo City of the Wolves, if you want to call it too. There's no judgment. Alright, well, without power on, let's actually watch this, because, this was Shadow Drop. SNK can get away with it. You know why? Because they can. Alright, let's do this. Alright, make sure the audio's game audio's at a pretty reasonable amount. Alright, let's do this. Make sure this is in 4K, even though it's going to be in 1080 for you guys.
Try to keep up, alright?
I love the new art style.
Taste of Shiranui fire is the path I've chosen. Time to set sail.
Oh my gosh, I'm bringing everyone back. I feel like she was...
Farewell. Can you comprehend that?
He looks familiar. Seriously, this art style is freaking awesome. Yeah, naturally, I'm gonna rewind it. Oh, baby. Yes, yes. Let's rewind that.
Taste of Shiranui.
Alright, let's just get through that. Let's get to the main point. Hold on. That's fine at this place.
Can you comprehend that?
You know what I appreciate very much? Very, very much? We're getting a lot of open betas. And we're getting it from, like, already established franchises. No matter of the live service fiasco that we were getting a lot in 2024, I very much appreciate that we're getting open betas for games that we want. Even though you might not be a fan game enthusiast. Completely okay. But man, you guys missed out. Whoever you are, you missed out in fighting game. You've missed out in fighting games. And I can tell you why fighting games. I'll give you 3 reasons why fighting games. As a fighting game enthusiast who grew up with my first video game as Street Fighter 2, yes, the OG Street Fighter 2, there are 3 reasons why fighting games hold up. The community is absolutely friendly. Some can be trash talker, but it's really rare few. Yeah, I think the gaming community for fighting games are absolutely. They're fun. They're fun and they're friendly. I think they're friendly. Whenever I actually fight a high level fighting person, whoever is across the world, I always feel respected. I feel like they are actually some who can actually kick my butt all over the match. But some actually give me a fighting chance, and it's like a lot of respect there. Because, you know, they grew up in the time of Street Fighter 2, or even before then. Just the fact that, yeah, I feel like the community is absolutely friendly. I love going to the fighting game, or I love playing a fighting game, because I either am not going to be disrespected, I'm going to have a friendly community, I'm going to have, like, an actual challenger who is actually challenging, or an equal footing. I can actually excel and get better at it. So that's the second reason. Once you learn the game mechanics, is absolutely a blast to play them, because pulling those awesome movements, now that it's kind of now the normal to pull those ultimate moves that, well, let's face it, Mortal Kombat started that, I guess, when you really think about it. But yeah, pulling the finishers that is now commonplace is so freaking amazing and satisfying. I love doing it every time. Whatever fighting game, even if it's absolutely brutal, to nail those fighting game mechanics. I love it every single time. Because A, all of the fighting game characters, that'll be my third reason. But yeah, it's so much style and so much creativity and so satisfying to pull the ultimate moves, finishers, whatever you want to call it in any fighting game, just with your character. And also, number 3, the characters are iconic. No matter whatever the first-person shooter, live service, RPG, whatever, it's hard to come across like a good character or a solid character consistently. Fighting games, it may not always have the best fighting characters, but they have the most personality. They ooze with style, personality, and they're just so cool to play as all the time. We come back for the iconic characters, so when we get crossovers, and it's always commonplace when we get crossovers, then yeah, we love it every single time. So, okay, what do I think about this trailer in terms of, like, my opinion? Okay, 10 out of 10. I mean, if it wasn't obvious with the hype of my voice, it's a 10 out of 10. Why? We get 8 playable characters in an open beta. I could have settled for 4. 4 would have been okay, but we get 8. We get Terry Bogard, Kane. I feel like he sounds familiar. I had to get back to Mark of the Wolves. I know Ben Jeanette. I know. Well, I probably butchered that. Hotaru, definitely no. Vox Reaper, had to double check if he is one of the original characters from the original game. Breacha, I feel like that. Terry freaking Bogard. I guess he's making crossovers and everything. Dude, you were in Smash just a couple years back. Now you're best. Well, you originated from SNK, and you're back again. Man, Terry, you're just everywhere at this point. You're even in Street Fighter. So, dude, okay. Even Molly's in Street Fighter now. Never thought that would happen, but yeah, the internet was. Those news broke the internet, understandably. And I'm glad to see Rock Howard again. It's been ages. He's been relegated to SNK, so I hope he's so popular in this game. he makes crossover to other games. I imagine he has, but I like seeing him. I like playing as Rock Howard. He's one of my fan favorite to play in SNK games. He gets done dirty all the time. And I hate that he gets done dirty because he doesn't get a spotlight. Not like Terry freaking Bogard, but Terry earned that, and Mai Shiranui. Those are two fan favorites. You can't deny that. But, man, Rock Howard gets denied dirty all the freaking time. I want spotlight on him. He's so fun to play. But yeah, the biggest news. Okay, let's look at the comeback. Hold on. Dude, that is sick. Oh, well, you probably didn't hear that. Well, here we go. Let me just rewind it again. Dude, I love the comic book style that they're going for. Considering that I like to call it the Barbie doll, like, graphics they were going with. I think that started in KOF Maximum Impact when they went to, in a sense, 2D to 3D. But I felt like they had a good balance when they got to KOF 15. KOF 14, I felt like they were Barbie dolls. It was only in the cutscenes where it harkened back to the old school SNK cutscenes back then. But when they went into this new style, it looks like they were ripped out of a comic book, but add still that SNK animation that I know them for the new one, in terms of 3D jump. And it absolutely works. It actually oozes with style. And considering that this is the sequel to Mark of the Wolves, it just makes sense in a natural and a kind of gameplay design and just like, okay, let's just keep it simple. Art direction. In terms of art direction for a game from 1999, yeah, naturally they had to change their art style. Nobody will go back to the art style. You have to evolve. You have to change. You have to adapt to your competitors. And consider that Tekken 8 upped their graphics, Street Fighter 6 totally went a different style with their innovation, and I love that. I think Street Fighter 6 is, I still think, to me, in terms of like the big three, and you know what the big three is, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Tekken, but Mortal Kombat's kind of going, I don't know what's going on with them. But yeah, I think in terms of competitors, even if it doesn't like sell a lot of units, I think this is a step in the right direction of art style. I wish I covered this earlier, but again, I didn't have a capture card back then, but now I can cover it, and I love it. Oh man, yeah, I love this art style. This art style is pretty cool. And to wrap up this part of the video, well, this half, let's just get to the real news. That is some sick animation. But here's the important news. So I get to try it. That is the important news. I get to try this in the open beta. And it's so reasonable. I mean, I get why it won't come to Nintendo Switch because this is a game that is definitely tailored for the PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. Why is this game still being sold on the S? Can we just relegate it to X? But considering that anything can be an Xbox, yeah, I guess that was my job to Xbox. But hey, you know what, Xbox, you do you. You're making money, you're not leaving money on the table, and you're going multi-platform. Not gonna even sweat that. But I like the accessibility. So, of course, naturally I have a PS5, so naturally I'm gonna absolutely try it. But even if I did have a PS5, I could try on the PS4. But of course, I'm gonna go for the high end and go on the PS5. But the most important thing, guys, everyone, you're ignoring the important detail. You know what the detail is? We get it. We get it on pretty much on February 20th. For all time zones. It's a man, fighting game enthusiast like myself. We're eating. Fighting games are cooking again. I love that. I like that it's, and you know why it's cooking again? Street Fighter 6. I feel like Street Fighter 6 really just, now fighting games are taken seriously again. We just didn't get a solid fighting game until we got to maybe Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 4 broke the internet. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, after Street Fighter 4, I felt like maybe we needed that resurgence, and fighting games were still awesome. But by the time we got to, we'll call it the Street Fighter 6 era and Tekken era, yeah, I feel like fighting games are back. Because, ironically, Mortal Kombat broke the internet back in, like, when it first came out, but now it's kind of in a rut too. They need to fix that. Oh, of course, I'm still going to play Mortal Kombat 1 since I have 9, 10, and 11. But let's face it, dude, fighting games are back. I think they're back. And I love that they're back. But yeah, that's the most important thing. That February 20th. Am I in? Absolutely. Are you serious? 8 playable characters. Gonna have to convince my wife to play it. She might. Maybe if I show her Mark of the Wolves, have her play it like a good chunk, maybe she will play the open beta. And it's from the 20th to the 24th, so there is time. 4 days! Why would they give us 4 days? They gave us, it's crazy. We are still finishing up Monster Hunter Wilds because they gave us an extra day to the 17th. Because Capcom, I respect that. After the PSN outage, they give us 1 additional day. And they can get away with it in terms of their compensation because we get to play Monster Hunter Wilds again for 1 extra day. I ain't complaining. And these guys, they're giving us to the 20th to the 24th. As long as we don't have a PSN outage, I hope I didn't jinx us. As long as we don't have that, we get to play a pretty awesome fighting game to a sequel of a game from 1999 that was really legendary. Anyway, okay, now I'm done. Sorry, and it comes out, and the wait is not long. It comes out in April 24th, so we have literally 2 months before we actually get to play it. And that's absolutely, yeah, I'm living in a good way. But no, wait, there's more. Of course, I'm going to watch this one, because this was also Shadow Drop the same time as the open beta. That's such a great start. Alright, here we go.
Andy Bogard!
Andy Bogart's back, baby!
Ken!
Oh my gosh, him!
Joe Higashi!
I can't believe Joe's back.
Chun Li!
Okay, so they're just giving us everything.
Mr. Big!
Okay, I don't recognize him. What the new theme's on? No, I do love the new. I love the new theme song. I want to hear it in execution. Maybe I'll listen to it. And unfortunately, I'm gonna be one of the few who won't be day one when this game come out. And I'll explain why. Now, this is a personal reason. It's because pretty much the fighting games with the release, they don't give us everything. They don't give us a complete edition. They release it in every yearly. But man, fighting games have become enticing because of all of the crossovers, requested crossovers that are done well. Yeah, I always like to wait for the fighting game, like, if it's a fighting game I am absolutely excited for, like Mortal Kombat 1, or Street Fighter 6, or Tekken 8, absolutely Street Fighter 6. But I always like to wait when the game has been out for a good couple of years, because there's always going to be a Season 1, Season 2, Battle Pass, and then the complete edition after, I always estimate, like 4 years, especially if that fighting game was so popular that it broke the internet, like Street Fighter 6 did. And I always do that because, A, it saves money, because you're going to get a complete edition anyway, because Tekken 7, they did release a complete edition. Mortal Kombat 11, they did an Ultimate Edition. You see where I'm going with this? So, naturally, City of the Wolves is going to release a complete edition of previous content, because, unlike live service games, they do release the complete edition, like, in the foreseeable future. So it doesn't make sense to get the fighting game unless you love it. No judgment at all. If you get the game, and then you pretty much get a future battle pass for it. I just like to, if the developers are intentionally waiting on the stuff, if they're waiting for to add additional or DLC characters that we do want, or or characters that were in the previous series, they now be released as DLC characters. I'd rather wait for the complete edition, so I have everybody instead of just doing it yearly. Because naturally, they're going to do a season 3, 4, 5, or whatever the season. That's kind of my mini rant that I get why fighting games now and commonplace that it happens. I mean, they're giving us DLC characters that we absolutely want. But I feel like they should give us everything because I grew up in the time of Street Fighter 2 where they gave us everything. Even though they came up with Super Street Fighter, Turbo Street Fighter 2, let's face it, they did do that back in the 90s too. Yeah, I'm kind of old-fashioned where if I have a fighting game and that fighting game is non-DLC and it's a fighting game character I can unlock by, actually getting good at the game, get good, and actually doing certain requirements to unlock the character. I'm gonna do it. I mean, Street Fighter 4, the original one, they had me unlock characters by getting good and actually looking up Google of how to unlock the characters. So I'm old-fashioned. I prefer to unlock my characters instead of pay for my characters. Or if I'm gonna pay for my characters, I like to do it when basically they're already on to the next cycle or towards the end. Because let's face it, they're gonna have an Ultimate Edition, Complete Edition, or whatever edition that gives us all the characters we were requesting for throughout its life cycle. Is it just me? I don't know. I don't feel like that's just me. I feel like that would be the smart move, but it's not a bad move, and it's still a smart move to do like a future battle passes. There's no judgment in that. I just think that they're gonna just release more characters, and they're withholding those characters that we want. So yeah, it just makes sense to give us the complete edition up front and just make us pay for the Ultimate Edition that unlocks the characters anyway. If we do get the Ultimate Edition that releases future characters in the future, then give us that option. Don't just kind of do, give us the base game, then Season 1, and then, oh, lo and behold, a few months later, Season 2. That's my rant. In terms of, I guess, fighting game Battle Pass. Does it matter? No, it does not matter. They're just going to do what they want. But yeah, I'd rather unlock my characters or just give me the Ultimate Edition up front so I can at least don't have to buy Season 2, 3 down the road. Just give me the option of Ultimate Edition so I get all the characters in the future. Which they're doing, but they don't do it for all fighting games. I noticed that. Alright, well, that's my mini rant. Let's analyze this video again.
Ken. Joe Higashi. Chun-Li. Mr. Big.
But I can't deny, no matter what my mini rant was, and even though it might sound negative, you can not deny there was some truth to it that, let's face it, they have more DLC characters coming, and let's face it, they're going to just do a complete Ultimate Edition towards the end of its life cycle. That's the way the fight games are. But I can't deny, in terms of the DLC characters by itself, the content that we're getting for Season 1, yeah, that's a 10 out of 10. Me and my brother, we played Andy Bogard non-stop. Or I was Terry, and then he was Andy, and then we switched, and then I played Andy. And I'm very familiar with Andy. He's again, like Rock Howard, he's been done dirty. In terms of SNK characters, luckily he's in King of Fighters, so I'm glad to see him again. Or is he not? I'm gonna have to look back at it. I'm gonna have to replay at least Kingdom Fighters 14. But I'm glad that Andy is just becoming now mainstream, or he's becoming relevant again. Andy is one of those cool characters besides Terry. I get why Terry was in Super Smash Bros. I get why he was in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I mean, that's a perfect choice. Of course you're going to go with fan favorite Terry Bogard. I mean, he was in the anime movies back in the 90s, early 2000s. If anybody remembers Fatal Fury, those anime movies. Yes, I see those. And yes, Oh man, nostalgic sake? Yeah, I love those movies. Just for like, yeah, back in those days. But yeah, just the fact that Indy is just being brought back to the forefront again. It just feels like ages. Besides King of Fighters, the new one. But I'm glad that he's just back in like this is like a mainstream SNK game. This is a SNK game. And Indy's back. And I very much appreciate it. I like playing as him. He was kind of that character, you know? That gives me such an idea to do like a live stream of Fatal Fury 2. Because I have it on the Switch. Yep, I might do it. But I appreciate that. So Andy being back, yeah, that's a requested fighter for if you're going to bring a sequel to pretty much, yeah, Mark of the Wolves, Andy is the guy to bring back. And yes, good move. Solid move. Ken and Chun-Li. Yeah, I mean, it would have been easy to bring Ryu to Street Fighter, but he's in everything at this point, even in Smash. Wow. But bringing Ken and Chun-Li, it just makes sense. I feel like they're going to fit the comic book style of what this game is going for. But bring these characters, Ken, because I know Ken and Terry Bogard, those are kind of like the two mains that people use to fight all the time. Plus, you know, it's just their personalities, their style, it just makes sense to have that dream match between Ken and Terry Bogard. It just makes total sense. So yeah, Ken just pretty much being here makes sense. It's a good choice. It's a solid choice. Good choice, solid choice. It's an excellent choice. Chun-Li, come on, let's face it. Everyone's a Chun-Li fan favorite. Chun-Li's fan favorite from Street Fighter. And it also makes sense too. So yeah, bring her, solid move. Joe Higashi. I know I butchered that last name, but yeah, Joe was also that mainstay that I loved playing back in the day too. You see him, and I think the recent King of Fighters, don't quote me that. I'm gonna have to double check. But having Joe back, yeah, I was like, Joe! It was great to have Joe back. Again, he's been done dirty like Andy Bogard. Did we all forget that Joe and Andy kind of is responsible for why Fatal Fury is popular? Let's face it, it's Terry Bogard. It was the Terry Bogard back in the day. Like, yeah, come on. Yeah, I mean, that is iconic from back in the 90s. But let's not forget, Mai Shiranui, Andy Bogard, Joe Higashi also made up the game too. Those were mainstays that were done right back in those days. So the fact that they're bringing him back in new attire, I love his new outfit too. His outfit's cool. I mean, did we all forget Joe? Oh wait, that means Kim's coming back. Kim is coming back. There's potential. They brought Andy, a person who was done dirty back in the past, pretty much the one mainstay, Joe back. They could bring Kim back. They could bring Taekwondo Kim back. There's so many potential. They could even bring Kula? Oh my gosh, they could bring K back. K's been done dirty. He's kind of like the, Shadow. Okay, let's pretend that Rock Howard is Sonic the Hedgehog. K was kind of like Shadow the Hedgehog, but kind of cooler. K, they can bring him back. Oh yes, I am that familiar with K. They can bring so many requested characters, but now, just the fact that Ken and Chun-Li is there, that means Capcom characters that would fit in this style can be also brought. There are so many requested fighters they can bring. Now there's a barrel of Capcom characters they can bring. They can bring Morgana, or Morgana? I think her name is Morgana. No, probably butchered that name. But there's so many characters that can fit in this comic book style. I know Maximilian Doom is probably going crazy just with the news that was about this. I know he is. Or if it's not just him, the fighting game community are probably losing their freaking minds. Okay, you know what? Let's read the comments. Also, before I read the comments, Mr. Big. Okay. He's a character I'm not familiar with. I'm gonna have to Google him. I'm gonna have to do some history lesson. I don't know if he is a new character for this game, or he was a character from previous SNK characters. I don't know. Anyway, let's read the comments. I mean, come on, people. This is like, it might not break the internet, but this is the type of news for fighting game community that will lose their freaking mind. I am. Andy Bogard is back. Joe is back. I love that. And Ken and Chun-Li. We already knew the news before, but man, it's good to see it. in execution. I kind of wish they were in the open beta, but they gave us enough in terms of the players. They gave us enough, completely okay. Let's read the comments. Alright. Okay, so they're saying Mr. Big is back, so okay, he has been in SNK games before. But of course, you could definitely leave a comment of what game he has been back specifically, and I'll go, oh my gosh! Yeah, Ken Masters, it would make sense. But I get it, he's one of the iconic Street Fighter characters, so it's enough to just go just Ken. Yes, I want to hear the full song. Yes, I really do want to hear the full song. It goes absolutely hard. It's legendary. It slaps. I want to, yeah. Once the song comes out, I might actually, like, listen to it. Just like Elden Ring, Night Rain. I really want to hear that full song. That's an appropriate song for a sequel to, yeah, to Mark of the Wolves. Okay, so he must have been in some SNK games before. He looks familiar, but I don't remember him. Maybe it's because... Oh, right, Art of Fighting characters. Wait, is he? No, he can't be. I don't want to assume, because I could be wrong. No, Mr. Big can't be from the Art of Fighting. Wait, that means the Art of Fighting characters. There's that potential. Oh, man! Real Saki. He could be back. I would be not losing my mind, not literally, but I would be freaking excited if they bring the Art of Fighting characters. Oh yes, I want them back too. They would fit in the style too, because you know, in their roots, they're SNK characters. That was my first SNK Art of Fighting. The Art of Fighting, yes. I think that would be okay. So everyone is saying Mr. Big could pretty much be from Art of Fighting, but I could be wrong. If he is, alright. Then that opens the door to introduce the two main leads in it. Come on, SNK. You're back. Keep it coming. Alright. Yeah, he is. I absolutely dig in Andy's new armor. I mean, yeah, the whole flame right there? I mean, I don't know if that was in his original, like his original design. But yeah, I'm digging it. I'm digging his, like, the pit legs, like what Jin Kazama does. But no, Andy's new style, it works. It so works. I like his new style. Joe, but the one I really enjoy, and people are going to have different opinions, Joe's new outfit slaps. I like his new outfit. It just feels like a natural evolution to his original design, to his new design. I actually like it better. Fight me on that. It's a fighting game, so yeah, I guess you can fight me on this. Technically, I guess I'll see you in the beta. Oh man, I can't wait to do it. Alright. So it just seems like it's confirmed that Mr. Big is from Art of Fighting. I'm gonna have to absolutely do some research. Okay. Okay, special edition. So that's what I mean. If they are going to pretty much be in the Ultimate Edition anyway, the Complete Edition, or whatever we called it in the future, yeah, I guess it really doesn't matter if you get it now or wait. Wait, hold on. Okay, If that is true, okay. Alright, so wait, duck. Yeah, okay. Alright, so it's just it is confirmed. So Mr. Big. I don't remember Mr. Big from Art of Fighting because, you know, it's been decades since I played Art of Fighting. If they ever bring it back, you know I'm gonna play that again. I will get that nostalgic. Ah, man. Yeah, they made Andy good. In terms of the characters of the characters that is the coolest. If I had to rank them, like which one looks the coolest, obviously it's gonna be Joe. Joe is gonna be my favorite design, without a doubt. Then it's gonna be Andy Bogard. Then, of course, it's going to be Chun-Li as the third. Pretty much, as I like Ken's new duds. Let's face it, Mr. Big he's got that Chad energy. It's gonna be curious of how he plays, and they're all spread out in a reasonable. And I didn't even focus on it. We get Andy and Ken at the same time in summer. That's great. That's solid. That is solid news. Getting two characters from the get-go. It's not even far. After that April, that summer, we're gonna get them. So we get to see a gameplay review of them. Oh yeah, I'm in. I'm gonna probably watch that. I'm probably gonna be like, alright, come on Andy, how do you play after all these years? And Ken, naturally, he's gonna be a standout too. But the one I'm really want to see play is Joe. I want to see how Joe plays. Of all the characters here, I want to see how Joe plays. He was a crazy character to play. But he was so fun to play. Obviously, I'm pretty loud, probably, and there's that passion there. But, dude, Joe was fun to play back in the day. And he still is. All right. Okay. Yeah, I feel like anybody art of fighting, including myself, I remember the two main leads. I guess I just didn't get that far for Mr. Big. Okay. Yeah. Wait, that means okay, so will they? Someone brings up a interesting point in the comments. I want to read it again because we need to focus on that. I mean, they brought M. Bison back. We know, I guess that's a spoiler alert, but I'm sorry, Street Fighter V has been out for a decade. Not a decade, but it's been out for a good while. It's been out for a good while. Yeah, I mean, M. Bison absolutely died for Ryu, but he got brought back, or is it a clone? I have no idea, but if M. Bison can be brought back... Oh, and let's not forget, Heihachi got brought back in Tekken 8. I guess that's happening, so nobody really stays dead, except for the first king from Tekken. He's straight up dead, but nope, Heihachi, actually, his heart stopped, got thrown to Volcano, spoiler alerts for Tekken 7, but he survives, so, Geese Howard coming back. This might be very video. I'm like, Geese Howard coming back? Would anybody be surprised? No. I mean, he was one of the iconic characters that also started the series too. Fatal Fury specifically. I mean, he's already in a crossover at Tekken 7. Oh man, that's still a thing. So, we can't rule it out that Geese Howard would actually come back. What if he does? There's that potential too. There's so many potential characters that could come back. I know. This person said it right. I'm looking at his comment, and he says it right, indeed. Exactly. Andy got done dirty. After Fatal Fury series, he's just gotten done dirty. You don't see him as much, so it's good to see him as a mainstay. That's what I'm saying. You just don't see Andy as much, and it's crazy. Just like Joe. I feel like these two mainstay characters who started the series, let's mind you, have been done dirty. It's absolutely insane how much they've been done dirty. I'm venting my frustration because I played these characters back in the 90s, so of course I'm like, good, they're back. It feels like ages. I love seeing them back. Exactly. Just because we're getting an actual sequel to Mark of the Wolves. Guys, this is important because that's a game from 1999. As pretty much a person who played those old school back in the 90s, yes, people, we're eating good tonight. So, if they bring a Capcom versus MSK3, they can do it. They can do it in this style. It would work. I mean, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 got a sequel back in the day, I guess, definitely years back. They can do it. If this sells well, SNK can do it. They can do a Capcom versus SNK 3 and bring us all the characters back. They can do it. And it would be awesome. Yeah, definitely. Exactly. I want to see if they drop the gameplay trailer for Andy and Can. Yeah, man, I'm probably gonna watch it. Of course, it's not gonna be live because it's gonna be a shadow drop. It'll be just a trailer. But man, exactly, it's getting closer. I'm gonna probably download it. Once I hear the main thing, I'm like, all right, Spotify, do you have it? I'm gonna probably download that song. Man, it's great to see season pass like that. Okay, but you get the idea. The internet is, it's probably just like adults like me, or pretty much young adults, whatever you are, and you have a pretty much a passion for fighting games. Yeah, this broke the internet in terms of this did. We already knew Ken and Chun Li was coming out because they did announce it last year. I know Maximilian do, along with other people, were going like, dude, what? And yeah, I think pretty much Terry and Mai being announced on Street Fighter 6, coming to Street Fighter 6, I think that broke the internet because nobody was expecting those two characters to just, SNK characters. Those two characters were pure SNK characters. And what I mean is, SNK characters didn't share them as much. We were all shocked and losing our freaking minds when basically Terry was going to Super Smash Bros. No one, to this day, was expecting that. Even including myself. I'm like, Terry? I was like, Terry, an SNK character, going to a Nintendo game. That still, to this day, is such awesome news. So the fact that Terry and Mai went to Street Fighter, a Capcom game, it was unheard of. They're doing some crazy stuff with fighting game crossovers. I tell you what. Alright. I think I talked your ear off. This is a perfect clip to end it with. Oh yeah, you can definitely leave a like, comment, or subscribe. But yeah, this is the fighting game news that I was cool with waking up to. I was like, this is the fighting game news I wanted to wake up to. And even though I talked for a good 48 minutes, this is the news I had to talk about. As pretty much a kid who grew up? I wouldn't say grew up. Who cares? As a kid who played those games back in the 90s, the old school ones, and still play fighting games, not as much now, but I've been getting back into it. And you know what? It's so freaking awesome. It's awesome. These news. They gave me what they wanted. They gave me what I wanted. They gave us characters that, yes, these are characters I wanted for season 1. Like season 1, these are the characters I want. Open beta that I actually get to try your game, that is what I want. They gave us news. They gave us 10 out of 10 news that I'm absolutely excited for. You can tell from my voice and me talking for almost 48 minutes. Actually, that's been 48 minutes, but you can tell I'm excited for it. So, of course, you can like, comment, or subscribe. What do you think about the Season 1 Pass, or Season Pass 1, or the DLC characters? Who's excited about Andy or Joe? Who's excited about the Street Fighter characters coming? Who's excited about Mr. Big coming back? I don't even remember him, and I'm still excited. And also, the main fundamental question: how do you feel about the open beta coming? That's all I'm gonna say. There's another fighting game news I actually wanted to cover too, because strangely enough, I don't really cover that game, but it's worth acknowledging and worth kind of delving into. All right, let's move on to the next one.